6-4 work together. Again, we have 2 steps. First step, we're going to be journalize the adjusting entries. It says on April 30th of the current year, Fix It Now has completed the worksheet shown in question assets. Journalize the adjusting entries and use page 8 of the journal. And so we're going to look at this worksheet that they give us here, a completed worksheet, and I'm going to pay attention to my adjustment columns. And so I want to first list my supplies one. Now, I don't think it's a huge deal if they're not in the order, but what I like to do is I'm going to go down here from the top, and then the first one that I come across is my supplies. Now, that's a credit. We should list a debit first. So I'm going to scroll down and find the 153 debit, and that's going to mean my supplies expense. So that's what I'll actually list first. So I already have my adjusting entries on there. So I'm going to start with my date, April 30th. And I said my debit is going to be supplies expense. I'm going to put that account in supplies expense. And my debit is for 153. And then I'm going to scroll up to find the credit that goes with that. Here's my credit of 153, and that is to my account supplies. So I'm going to put in supplies for a credit of 153. Remember, I don't have a source document for this, so I'm going to leave that blank. That's why we have that heading of adjusting entries. Okay, after I do that adjustment, my next one, I have prepaid insurance. Again, this is showing me the credit, so I want to scroll down and find my debit. My debit is to insurance expense. I'm going to start with my date. I'm going to list the account insurance expense, and that was going to be a debit of 125. I'm going to scroll up and find the credit that goes with it. That credit is to prepaid insurance, so I'm going to then credit prepaid insurance for 125. I'm going to make sure that my debits and credits equal for each transaction and grade step 1. Okay, next step, we're going to do the posting of our adjusting entries. Now, they don't actually go over this in the chapter, but we know how to post, so that's why they don't go through it. It says post the adjusting entries. The general ledger accounts do not show all details for the fiscal period. The balance shown in each account is the account's balance before the adjusting entries are posted. So just like before, we're going to go for each line. So I'm going to start here on supplies expense. I'm going to find my supplies expense account down here. Okay, the date is April 30th. Nothing goes into my item column. My post reference is journal page 8, so I'm just simply going to put 8. And I have a debit to that account for 153. I then need to find my new balance, which is simply a debit of 153. Last step then, I'm going to take my account number 550 and bring it back to the top. Next account, I'm going to post to supplies. I'm going to find my supplies account. Again, my date. Now the 30th is already in there, but I do need to list that again to show that this is a new posting. I don't need to put the month though. Nothing goes into my item column. My post reference is journal page 8. This time I have a credit of 153. And then I need to find my new balance. I had a debit balance before of 228. Now I'm crediting, so a debit and a credit I need to subtract. Since my debit number is larger, that's where my balance is going to go. And my balance is a balance of 75. My account number 140 goes back up to my journal, showing that I am done posting. Next, I'm going to go to insurance expense. Start with my date of April 30th. Post reference is page 8. This time insurance expense has a debit of 125. My new balance simply then is a debit of 125. And my account number 530 goes back up to the journal, showing that I'm done posting that line. Next, I'm going to prepaid insurance. Date, journal page 8. Here I have a credit of 125. I need to find my new balance. I had a debit of $375. Now I'm crediting, so I'm going to subtract $125. My debit number is larger, so that tells me I have a debit balance of $250. Account number 150 goes back up to show I'm done posting. Once my post reference column is filled in, that tells me I'm done posting. I'm now going to grade my final step. That was the end of 6.4. You can now go on to the 6.4 on your own, and then you will have the application problems, mastery challenge, everything before the test. Make sure that you pay attention to due dates.